see if it works now. Okay, I am back. Let's try this again. Okay, let's try this again, people. Hi, Celine, you're first here. Okay, so you can see me and hear me. Everyone else, I had to. Okay, great. Goodness gracious, you guys. Allie, could you hear me how excited I was to see that you were on? I haven't heard from you in a while. Um, so I'm sorry you missed that because I was like, oh my gosh, Allie, you're on. I haven't seen you in a long time. Okay, so you guys can hear me and see me, right? Give me a thumbs up or a chat or something. Let me know. Oh yeah, I went on and on, Allie, about how I didn't see you for a while and was glad to see you. So, um, okay, so I'm so glad you guys are. I don't know what was going on with that because it was like just like this. And then you guys were like, it's buffering. I can't see you. So, anyway, okay, glad you guys showed up. So, today we're going to be talking about little known things that have, that are talked about vitamin C. Now, vitamin C is all over the net. And, but a lot of times I get feedback of it didn't really work for me, or, my face broke out. I got drier skin. My skin started to get red and blotchy. Why am I not seeing the benefits of vitamin C, or the amount of people talking about how great vitamin C is versus the results I'm getting is it's like this, right? The expectations are not being met. So let me talk to you about, when I always say, if you guys even stay to the end of the video, I always say, remember, makeup is an art, skincare is a science. So here is where we kind of get into the vitamin C serum. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people work a lot. So, okay. So here's what I'm going to tell you about your vitamin C serum if you are using it. So when I say vitamin C, just for future reference in this video, I'm always talking about L-ascorbic acid, and we will talk about vitamin C derivatives as well. Okay. See, someone missed the time. Watch. Oh, so is it Mara or Mara? Thank you very much for your feedback. I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking into the ether, right? And like, and then I'll get emails. What is really good is I'm starting to get emails back from you on specific questions on skincare, and it's getting to the point where sometimes I can't even catch up with between my consultations and answering all of your individual questions. Oh, Mara, right? Sarah, Mara, hopefully. Okay. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about vitamin C. Okay. I'm going to tell you there is a reason, first of all, and this video is not being sponsored. Okay. But there is a reason why SkinCeuticals got so big so quickly, because the biggest challenge, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. So I will do the lives then. Okay. So when I do the lives, I think it gives you an opportunity to see that a lot of the information, so much of the information is up in here. And then I give a lot of that information first to my clients, right? Based on their concerns and their questions. So this live gives me an opportunity to answer just like this and to show you guys that, um, I'm not all about just promoting, but not really giving you information. Okay, so vitamin C serum. Here is the thing about that. The reason why SkinCeuticals became so big is and they patented it because the challenge was keeping vitamin C stable. It's highly oxidative, right? So when vitamin C, the L-ascorbic acid is exposed to heat, light, and air, it begins to degrade very quickly. That's a process called oxidation. So think about these scientists who are trying to keep it stable, right? But they have light, they've got heat, right? And air. So how do you package that, keep that shelf stable, then now somebody opens it, right? Now oxidation timer starts, the clock starts ticking, and you're not using the whole thing at once. So, and then now on your skin, the pH of vitamin C is most effective when it is at 3.5. But 3.5 is really acidic, and to leave it on your skin. So for those of you who are not using a cleanser that is specifically formulated for acidic products to get, on top of your skin, maybe the water that you're using is hard. It's got, a lot of minerals in it. Um, so, and then what you put on after, right? The vitamin C. So it's really difficult. And so the reason why SkinCeuticals became so famous was because they were able to keep it stabilized with an antioxidant ferulic acid while at the same time maintaining that pH 3.5 um, or lower, right? To keep it really, really stable. Now, there's tons of other vitamin C products along with vitamin C derivatives. Now, here's the thing. If you notice that your vitamin C serum is not paired with another, I call them BFFs, right? You're the cheerleader, an antioxidant, and it depends on the antioxidant. So, what's really common, especially for like the Amazon, a little bit lower end vitamin C, is they can use vitamin E. Vitamin E is really good to kind of protect keep it stable. Because remember, vitamin C is hydrophilic or water soluble. Vitamin E is oil soluble, right? It's like a lipid, so it kind of protects it. Now, so you'll see that ferulic acid, but because SkinCeuticals has patent exact percentages, the other brands, right, have to kind of create their own. And then the other one is astaxanthin. So astaxanthin is lipid soluble. Now, here is what is unique. This is why I talk about astaxanthin, because astaxanthin, if you guys don't know, it's a microalgae. They float on top of the water, right? And then they're getting the sun's rays. So in order to protect themselves, they have a red pigment. And basically what that does is when the UV rays hits that, red, white, or blue rays hit that, it actually increases in its protection against the sun. So when they use that along with vitamin C, it actually not only protects it, it actually increases its photoprotection. That's why it's really unique. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is, so there's other, let's talk about vitamin C derivatives. So L-ascorbic acid, because it has to be under that pH, um, a lot of people who have sensitive skin, who have dry skin, so they don't have any of their, very little of their own oil and ceramides to protect their skin, can do better with a vitamin C derivative. And vitamin C derivatives typically are going to be an ester form, which is lipid soluble. The delivery system is not quite as effective, but with regular use, it's more gentle to the skin and it gets into the skin. Okay, so people who have dry, mature, and or sensitive skin, they're probably going to do better with a vitamin C derivative. Now, there are several different forms of vitamin C derivatives, and so it just depends. And some of them are, so all stable than vitamin C, but some of them degrade faster. So, Vanicream, Vitamin C Serum 4. So I'd have to look at the type. So if you look at Allie, if you can actually put in the comments what type of vitamin C. So I actually made there's several different ones. The more common ones you're going to see is ascorbyl 6 palmitate, magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, MAP. Those are the more common ones that you'll see. Now these are all lipophilic, meaning that they dissolve in fat. They love fat, right? So the benefit of that is that can work in a neutral state, neutral pH, even though your skin is acidic. So there's a little bit more flexibility to that. Now there is one that's called 3-O ascorbic acid. Okay. Now here's what's unique about this one. It's both water soluble and lipid soluble. Okay, usually it's one or the other. So that's one that you may start to see more of. Okay, now here is another unique thing about that. So typically, vitamin C in all these studies that I have read, tends to perform better when treating age spots or treatment-resistant hyperpigmentation or melasma is vitamin C alone typically at best can lighten or fade those treatment-resistant hyperpigmentation, right? I'm not talking about like acne spots, okay? When paired with hydroquinone or kojic acid or licorice root extract or something else, it tends to do better. But this 3-O ascorbic acid, this one actually, when paired with other antioxidants, works really well. But on its own, it does pretty good. It's stable enough. It works well with more treatment-resistant hyperpigmentation. And it does very well with fine lines and wrinkles. Okay. So the other thing that I talked about, which I'm not sure you guys hear, did you guys hear the part where I talked about how taking vitamin C, how that works as far as the skin goes? Let me know because I don't want to repeat myself as far as how that vitamin C works with your skin. So can you guys let me know in the comments? Did you guys hear that part, or was the entire time buffered and nobody heard it? Let me see. No. Okay. Okay. So, okay. If you are finding that you're bruising easily, you have sores on inside your mouth or your tongue, it may be that you are not having a lot of vitamin C deficient. And if you're taking things that tend to, so if you, even though ginger is a very good anti-inflammatory, if you're taking things that have ginger in it a lot, that can actually cause your blood vessels and your capillaries to weaken, the walls of it to weaken. So you may see an increase in bruising. Now, here's the thing. You want to take the vitamin C because it strengthens the walls of your capillaries and your blood vessels, including the capillaries that nourish your dermal layer of the skin. Okay, so here is the thing. When you use vitamin C, which is water soluble on your epidermis, and it does stimulate collagen and elastin, but it cannot get into the deeper layers in your dermal layer. So how you have to do it, this is how it works in tandem. I talk about food sourced vitamin C versus the lab created vitamin C. So if you can find a vitamin C with Urcerola cherries, I always talk about, and I'm not being sponsored by them, I take them myself. It's the paleo one. And if you look at what their ingredients are for the vitamin C, they're all sourced from whole foods. Now, what that does is it helps strengthen and nourish those tiny little capillaries that are all feeding into your dermal layer. Okay. That vitamin C, though, it has shown when you take it internally, it doesn't get to the top layer of how, when it says the vitamin C protects your epidermis. No, it's the dermis with the collagen and elastin. But when you apply it topically, that's how it helps with the UVB, UVA rays. The internal part is really to help support the dermal layers. Okay. So that's not really talked about. So when they talk about, generally speaking, vitamin C helps with collagen and elastin formation. It helps with hyperpigmentation. It helps with all fine lines and wrinkles. You have to do both. This is why I talk about you have to be careful on what you use on your skin for the epidermis, and then also the dermal layer, which is underneath, which is the live layer of the skin. Okay. So, okay. So, how many of you guys heard that before, as far as like how vitamin C works within the skin? Okay. And and then I also talked about, so here's the thing, the difference between L-ascorbic. Oh, never. Okay. So here is the difference between L-ascorbic acid and um, vitamin C derivatives. So L-ascorbic acid in studies, when they've applied it on there daily, okay, it can be retained in the epidermis for up to 4 days. So let's say you didn't use it for 4 days. You go out in the sun. How your epidermis responds to UV light 4 days after vitamin C will work the same. But after that, it starts to degrade, in the tissue. So you need to put it on. Okay. Vitamin C derivatives are not. It does not. It's not retained in the skin. So the challenge is that our skin, we have a barrier, a lipid barrier, right, that protects our skin from everything immediately absorbing into the skin. This is why, if you've ever done a professional skin treatment, we always have to. We are voluntarily stripping the skin of the lipid barrier to get the ingredients to penetrate, to have a higher percentage absorbency. So this is why vitamin C is so challenging, because it is water soluble and we have that lipid barrier. So we have that challenge. We have to have that vitamin C be really shelf stable. Then it has to be a certain pH. And this is why you see a lot of products having more vitamin C derivatives, because they tend to be more shelf stable, they're more forgiving in their pH, and not as much reactions for um, all different types of skin type. Okay. Now, vitamin C for oily skin is a challenge, because they already have a lot of oils on their skin, which is good because it protects their skin from the environment. But vitamin C, you got to really strip that down. So if you ever noticed SkinCeuticals, and I'm not being sponsored by them, but they really do the science as far as retail products. So they do have it'll be paired with salicylic acid. So salicylic acid strips that strips the skin. But because the molecules of salicylic acid is larger than glycolic acid, it's more gentle to the skin, because glycolic acid will penetrate the skin a lot faster because the molecules are a lot smaller, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay. So this is why the title is vitamins, like little known facts about vitamin C. As far as, I'm not talking about the scientific world or research and development world, I'm talking about like the common person who is just on social media scrolling and hearing all these magical things about vitamin C, and then they put it on. They're like, well, I didn't really see that big of a difference, right? So that is why. Now, here is what's important. You need vitamin D, right? Vitamin D also helps the barrier function. Um, and that's what helps actually with the sun as well. So when people say they avoid the sun like crazy because of sun damage, no argument there, right? There is obviously sun damage when you go out, but you need the sun. When you take certain ingredients as a supplement and topically, it actually reduces the UVB rays so that you don't see the damage as well. So I love the sun, and I do go out in the sun to get the vitamin D. Vitamin D, and people who have autoimmune disease, it's been proven, including on all the tests that I've taken, you're going to be lower in iron, vitamin D, vitamin Bs. So, and the best way for your body to actually absorb vitamin D, even better than supplements, is unfortunately it is the sun. So, nope. So if you look at salicylic acid is not smaller than glycolic acid. Glycolic acid is smaller, so it penetrates the stratum corneum faster. Yep. So, um, okay. So, um, any questions in what I'm talking about, or any questions in regards to a vitamin C serum that you are using? And you have to remember, because I've gotten the question of, well, what about hyaluronic acid? You see hyaluronic acid being paired with vitamin C. Hyaluronic acid is technically not an antioxidant. So let's first define what antioxidant means. It means it neutralizes free radicals, right? Free radicals are basically molecules that are unattached. Okay, so think of them as like pinball, right? They are in whatever your skin, in the air, wherever, and they are not attached. So they're basically going along and bumping into attached molecules, and they break them apart. So whether it's paper, whether it's your skin, whatever it is, they slowly start breaking down, right? So let's just think of metal where it's rust and it's oxidizing, and then finally the rust starts to have little holes in them, right? That's the molecules breaking apart. So when our skin, as it gets older, it starts sagging, it starts having spots, wrinkles. This is all oxidation. So that is why vitamin C is so popular, because it is an antioxidant. Hyaluronic acid is a humectant. It brings moisture to the skin. And why sometimes people say it's anti-aging is because when your skin is dehydrated, now this is important, dehydration accelerates aging of the skin. So when people are using all of these anti-aging products that can dehydrate the skin, speeds up skin cell turnover rates, such as tretinoin or retin A or glycolic acid or any of these things that dehydrate the skin, it can make the skin, as people who are more mature know, your skin starts to become more crinkly looking, um, increasing in sensitivity. You may use some kind of product and you react to it easier than when you were younger. So that is why it may be under the anti-aging category, but technically it is a humectant. Okay. Okay. So I don't. Oh, whoops. Oh, I have to push this down to see more chats. Okay. THD ascorbate, 5% THD ascorbate. So yes, so obviously, oops, that is a vitamin C derivative, right? It's 5%. So that's too low. I don't know if you caught, Allie, that there's certain percentages that in studies have shown the minimum it has to be for an over the counter for it to be active is 8%. And 5% is too low. So that's yeah. So that's one of those things. And I do have quite a few people who I've worked with their skin, who have melasma, and they say that Vanicream doesn't work. I'm like, well, yeah, you have melasma. Melasma is very treatment resistant. So um, I have yet to meet anyone who has used an over-the-counter product that has melasma, where the melasma completely went away with that. So I know people try this and then they try that product and this one, that one, that, and then and it doesn't work. And it's because of the science behind it. Okay. So yeah, see, you've been using it for a long time. Have you been using it for age spots or like a melasma patch or what have you been using it for, Allie? Please excuse me. So I moved from California to a colder part and we had snow yesterday, like a lot of snow, and it's chilly. I'm not used to that for age spots. Okay. So probably not because I haven't seen the pictures of your age spots, so I don't know. But depending on what they look like, they could be what's called lipofuscin. So for those of you who've been watching my videos, you guys know that lipofuscin is a little bit different. So basically, what happens is um, when your liver is overtaxed by overprocessing fats and proteins and lipids, or fats, proteins, and sugars, right? There is what happens is there's fragmented microscopic bits of these lipids and sugars that go into the bloodstream. And then they get into different cells and it inflames the cells. And it's typically in areas where your skin is inflamed. It doesn't have to be your face, it can be anywhere. Um, that is when your or your melanocytes produce irregular pigmentation, right? And I say irregular because, if you get an age spot here, then that means in that area, those melanocytes overproduce pigments versus the other surrounding areas, right? So when you eat, and I give an example because barbecue is a perfect example. Let's say it's a combination of fats, proteins, and sugars cooked in very high heat. So a high amount of um, AGEs, right? So, and ROSs, reactive oxygen species. So basically free radicals. And so then what happens is that creates the age spots of lipofuscin. So they used to be called long time ago when I was growing up in the 70s, they were called liver spots. And now they're called age spots because it's more of a broad category. The liver spots become darker with the sun, but it's not caused by the sun. I know people think that it is, but it's not. It exacerbates um, the irregular pigmentation. Okay. Okay. So I have a serum in my store. Okay. Serum you recommend. Okay. So, and it's the one I talk about all the time. When you see my clients with their if you look at the before and afters, a lot of them have used, not all of them, because it depends on what medication they're using, how sensitive their skin is, how oily or dry. We already covered that. So I have them use the one, and I will put it in here. If you order it now, you actually get free shipping, just so you can try. It's the 3-cross link ampule. This is the one right here. I'll put the link in below so you can, let me see. I know I'm infamous. People who have been with me for a long time, they say you forgot to put the link in or you forgot to, it's like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I talk about the thing and because my primary goal, if you guys have not noticed, is to educate you. Um it's not just to sell stuff, it's to actually say, okay, here is, and Allie, you're welcome to try this. Like there's a 1 bottle and there's 2 bottle, 4 bottle. Okay, so oops. I don't know if that comes out as a link. I'm not sure. But if you go to goseechristybeauty.com and you go to specialty serums and you find this, what's unique about this one, I don't want to open it. And if I show you the one that I use, you're not going to see it. But the bottle, the small little bottle is, I wonder if I can open it this way, is because the other side is sealed. Okay, so in it, when you pump it, there's a little capsule inside, like a little encapsulated thing of astaxanthin in it. So when you push down on the pump, it releases the astaxanthin into into the liquid, and then you shake it. So at the bottom of the bottle, it'll be clear and you can see it. And once you keep pushing down on the pump, it releases it, and you shake it, it turns orange. That's that red pigment that releases the astaxanthin into it. This one actually has the 3-O ascorbic acid, right? Because this is the water and oil soluble vitamin C, along with the astaxanthin. It also has the glutathione. It has the licorice root extract. It has other brighteners in them. So I like it because there has only been, up to now, one person I can think of off the top of my head that has reacted to that, and she had super, 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 very, very dry skin. So anything she put on her face, pretty much, it did sensitize her skin. So, and the entire time that they've studied this, I was reading in an article that they were studying this 3-O ascorbic acid, it's called ethyl ascorbic acid, is, I think it was 2 people that reacted to it over years of when and both of them reacted with dermatitis, which is a type of rash. So that's actually really good compared to L-ascorbic acid, which, because of the pH, it can be more reactive to more different types of skin types. Okay. Now, how many of you? And so if you put that, you can get free shipping. You can try it and see if you like it. Just try the one bottle. It's like $42 or 70 something. Or I don't remember how much it is, but my assistant does all that stuff. So anyway, so it is fairly reasonable compared to some other products that are out there, and not as reactionary. Okay, so how many of you guys know about vitamin C sunscreen? Have you guys heard about vitamin C sunscreens? Give me a thumbs up or tell me that you actually use it. Um, or if you wondered about the vitamin C sunscreen. No? Okay, so it's kind of, I don't want to say gimmicky, but okay. If any of you guys have a business, part of having a business is always introducing new products, because customers get bored very quickly. Okay. So they had a few years back sunscreen with retinol, which I thought, why would that ever be a good idea? Right. But they have them. Now they have vitamin C sunscreen. So here is the thing. Here is what I just said. Vitamin C has to be acidic, right? It's very difficult to penetrate the epidermis. So here's how they kind of got around that. You're going to notice that they use vitamin C derivative. It's always going to be a vitamin C derivative. Most of the sunscreens that have vitamin C sunscreen, not all of them, will have, they use chemical sunscreens. And why is that? Because chemical sunscreens, how they work is they have to penetrate into the skin. And so what happens is you actually absorb the UV rays from the sun, and then it breaks it down in your skin, versus physical sunscreen that sits on top of your skin creates this like physical shield. So the UV rays come down and then bounce off, right? Okay. So because it's a chemical sunscreen and they created a way to get into the skin, you're going to see that a lot of the vitamin C's will have a chemical sunscreen. Now, what they have found in studies is that when vitamin C is paired together with some sort of antioxidant or something, so in this case, it's a chemical sunscreen that's preventing the vitamin C from breaking down, it actually can help the skin deal with the UVB rays better. But I don't recommend chemical sunscreens because they have been shown to be endocrine disruptors. This is why you're seeing an explosion of, including myself, people who have autoimmune diseases, they have hormonal issues, they have gut issues. So why would you use a chemical sunscreen, right? Because the chemical sunscreens, um, they are they're so bad for you. So people want that sheer, they want that nice texture. I get it. So here is how you they do have one that is a with a zinc with a zinc one, and I looked into it. I think it didn't say that it wasn't, but it didn't say it was either. Is I think it's, those are those nanoparticles of the zinc to make it sheer with the vitamin C. So here's my thing with that. If you just want to use it because you like the smell, it's probably going to have like a nice citrusy smell to it. Okay, go ahead and do that. But as far as you want to use the vitamin C to protect your skin, it's far better and healthier for your skin to use a vitamin C serum on your skin, let it absorb, then put the sunscreen on top because it's just another marketing thing. And since vitamin C degrades very quickly in light, this is why they're using vitamin C derivative. It's lipid soluble. They're using a chemical sunscreen to get that in there, but really it's much better for your skin to use a vitamin C serum along with the sunscreen. So that's just my thoughts on that because I really looked into that because I thought, oh, maybe I can save my clients a step, right, in their skincare protocols, but not really. If you look to see what is in these sunscreens, you're like, oh gosh, lots of silicone, oh, lots of emulsifiers, and I don't know, just not healthy for your skin. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, Allie. So here's the thing too, Allie, to make sure that it works, you got to make sure that your cleanser is pH balanced for that. Um, and if you have oily skin, that's going to be a challenge as well. Okay. So yeah. So it's not just one product, you guys. That's why skincare is a science because it depends on what you use beforehand and what you use afterwards and in between. Okay. So that's kind of there was something else I wanted to talk about as far as vitamin C, but I can't remember. Um let me think. I had an outline here. Oh, right. Okay, here's another one. So vitamin C actually works really well with tyrosine, which is also in this serum. But also they did a study where they combined the vitamin C with tyrosine and zinc. Maybe there was one more thing that they put in there. Combination of tyrosine, zinc, and vitamin C shown to increase bioavailability of vitamin C up to 20 times more than just regular vitamin C. So that's why I'm saying um, if you do use vitamin C during the day, let it absorb and then use a zinc on top of it. That will work that will work more for maintaining even skin tone. To treat already existing pigmentation, it's not it doesn't work during the day because obviously it breaks down. Your skin's recovery time, the best time for your skin's recovery time is actually between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. because your skin goes through a circadian rhythm, right? So when I tell my clients after we do these treatments, I tell them do the treatment and then turn off the lights and then go to bed. Do not sit there with the blue screen, scrolling, right? So that's because vitamin C degrades. And the reason why so many dermatologists and skincare professionals, including me, that have advised using vitamin C during the day is when you are using tretinoin or retin-A or some photosensitizing thing that you're using at night. And you don't typically want to combine the two together because your skin is more likely over time to increase sensitivity. So, but if you're not using that, then I recommend using it at night, unless you are using um, like a pigment suppressing ingredient, right? So, um, how your recommend? So, Allie, so here's the thing on how to use the serum. This is why it just depends on your skin type. If you're using topical skin if you're taking medications, and what you're using afterwards, what type of sunscreen that you are using. But for everyone overall, and I know some people don't like this because they prefer texture and all of that, is chemical sunscreens over time will wreak havoc on your skin microbiome. Your If your gut is healthy, your gut microbiome, your skin microbiome will be healthy. If your gut is not healthy, it'll eventually start to show up on your skin. Okay? Okay. So, um any any other things that you guys, do you have any questions? I feel like when I do these lives and I want to do Q&A, I feel like I'm just teaching class here, that I'm the one talking, and nobody really well, that's not true. But sometimes people don't ask questions. I just feel like I'm like, is this helpful at all? Oh, and Allie, I don't know if you're gonna use this with a cream. You should pair it with not Vanicream, because that will just cancel each other out. Um, um, oh, thank you, a honeycut. Thank you for your feedback. I'm like, am I just wasting my time here? Okay, so cleanser. Okay, so that depends on if you have normal skin, sensitive skin, drier skin, normal oily skin, or breakout prone skin. So, and if you do, you use makeup? Do you use like a physical sunscreen? Because remember, zinc is a physical sunscreen. It is formulated to stay on your skin and be rub resistant, smear resistant. It does break down, of course, but at the end of the day, if you don't think you've got any sunscreen, take your nail and scratch your skin, and you'll see a little bit of that white or tinted. So it's still on your skin. So because it's creating a physical barrier between the environment and your skin, you have to use a some kind of something to break down the makeup. Okay, cleanser is not going to do it, because um, especially if you're using one that's gentle for your skin, it's not going to break down that sunscreen. You're going to have to use something that's formulated to break that apart. And the reason why that's important is because if you don't get it all off and you're using serums, it's not going to get onto your skin. Does that make sense? Let's see. Off topic. So much about soy, but as someone in postmenopause who's gluten-free, also living two autoimmune diseases, one of them being neurological. Ooh, I'm sorry. How to shop and eat. Okay, so Sarah has a question. I'm going to answer that since everyone else is like taking notes or just listening. I have no idea. So Sarah, thank you very much for being vulnerable and sharing about okay, so there are mixed studies, mixed results on soy, and I think it really depends. So here's one thing. Okay, um, so what's unique about, I don't know, I can't speak for Chinese or Korean, but some of my friends who are Chinese and Korean agree with me as well. So I don't know. But so here's one thing that's unique about Japan. Japan's diet, like practically almost everything is made out of soy, right? Soy sauce, even their gluten-free soy sauce, which is tamari, or you guys say tamari sauce, um, teriyaki sauce, natto, which is fermented soybeans. Like everything is soy, 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 right? And so the mothers are eating all this soy-based food even before the kid is born, right? So they're being exposed to lots of phytoestrogen. Now, here's what's different. It's not GMO soy, it's the original soy. So because of that, I don't know if you've ever noticed Asian women where they don't um they don't seem to age, and then all of a sudden, like in their 80s, they like look old, right? Because the estrogen, they've been taking the estrogen for all their life, the phytoestrogens. So as their own natural estrogen starts to reduce, right, because of perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause, they're supplementing that with the phytoestrogen. So that race has been eating soy for centuries. Now, for Northern Europeans, people who have not been regularly exposed to soy, and then in the United States, it's genetically modified. They're spraying it. Um, it's highly tainted. So uh, the way that the Northern Europeans, people who don't eat soy regularly, I think the way they metabolize soy is different, and they have an overproduction of estrogen, which is what you want to excrete. So I think there's mixed results with that. And I think that's why there's mixed results with the testing. And if you ever notice a lot of their testing, when it's like positive results, if you notice, they'll say, I'm randomly speaking here, but 20 postmenopausal women between the ages of 55 and 70, 75, Japanese women or Chinese women. So those will be positive results. And then the ones that are not so positive, it will be done in the States. That's what I kind of noticed. So that's why I don't recommend, as far as eating soy, I usually will ask the person if they are Asian. I will say, did you eat an Asian based diet growing up, or was it American based? So that a lot of that will depend. I am first generation Japanese, meaning I was born in Japan, right? Partly raised there. And then even in America, I ate a very soy based diet, right? So when I went 45, I wasn't eating anymore. I was eating American foods and stuff, and or American based diet, even though it was pretty healthy. I started to get the hot flashes, the hot flashes, can't sleep at night. Then I said, okay, my mom never went through menopause. So I'm going to start eating soy again. So I started increasing the soy. The hot flashes went away. So I never experienced menopause like what you would describe as menopause. My sleep was still good today. So I have increased my soy intake. And what I have found is the texture of my skin has changed. I don't have any, like, a lot of the age related issues. Some of it's mine is autoimmune related. And so that has subsided as well. But I still deal with fatigue and things like that. So, so I don't recommend. Now, when I talk about soy, as far as you will see a lot of soy um, derived things in skin brighteners, because they have shown that the phytoestrogen in there has helped with regulating pigmentation formation. So that's why you see a lot of that in there. So that may work well with some people, some may not. It just depends. But for me, I do eat the organic, non GMO. I try to get a lot of my stuff that is from Japan, just to be safer. So, um, um, eyeshadow now with SPF. Okay, here's the thing with that, you guys. So, if it has bright colors, you will see on the back of it lake number, whatever, red, yellow, whatever, intense bright colors on there. Don't use those. They tend to irritate your skin. But if it's a mineral base, if it says mica, which is the shimmery mineral products in there, iron oxides. Those are natural SPFs. So again, that's a marketing thing because eyeshadow does protect because it's a covering, it's a powder. So especially if it says iron oxide, titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, whatever oxide, mica, those are all natural SPFs, right? So that's just a marketing thing. Um, you eat nut? Wow. So Allie eats natto because of me. Okay, so here's the thing you have to be careful with natto here in the States. If it's commercially produced, they don't let them sit long enough and ferment. Natto should, just like any other fermented thing, it should stink. Natto has their particular type of fermentation, their bacteria. People have said it smells like stinky feet. So imagine eating something slimy that smells like stinky feet. I grew up eating it, so I love it. That's really good for the collagen, the vitamin K, right? Retaining that collagen here. Okay. It's probably why I had such chubby, chubby cheeks. Oh, I wonder if I have a picture. I'm going to show you guys a picture of me when I was 25 so you can see how chubby my cheeks were. And back then, there was no such thing as fillers. Okay, so hold on. Let me see if I can find that. One moment. Oh, I can't find it. I'm gonna have to find it later. I'll do it on another live. So, um, some people in the comments below, not this one, but another one, accused me of using fillers, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I had such chubby cheeks. They were no, I would no. I'm not using fillers. I just have chubby, chubby cheeks. But if I find that picture of me when I was like 25 years old, I'm gonna show you guys how fat my cheeks were. Okay, so let's see. Okay, Ali La Roche Posay. Okay, I don't really like that brand, the big brands, because they have too many chemicals in there, too many chemicals that have endocrine disruptors. This is why so many women are having so many problems with autoimmune, I think. So, um, gentle cleanser. So, does that mean you have dry, sensitive skin? Because you said hydrating, gentle cleanser. Do you not break out at all? Or, like, I would need to know, like, what your skin was basically to use that. Um, what I probably would do, Allie, and I can I can text Melanie. She does a lot of my packaging. I do some of it. She does some of it. Is to get the sample size. You can get free shipping with it. The sample size, there's all natural balancing cleanser. The foaming cleansing oil is what you would use to effectively take off the sunscreen, oil-based products on your skin. And it's triple milled because I have some clients who have a lot of autoimmune, and so their skin is very, very sensitive. So there's no emulsifiers. If you look at a lot of the makeup cleanser stuff, that's really bad. A lot of them are yeah, they're if you look at what like on the studies. So I would use that because it's just basically different types of oils. It does not break out your skin and it foams. Okay. So I would use that first and then there's an oil free one. That one does not strip the oil from your skin, but it does balance out your sebum and your water percentages in your skin. And let me see. What's the other one? Oh, there's a brightening cleanser. So that basically helps boost. if you're using brightening serums, it really helps. It preps the skin for that. So, and it's very gentle. So, unlike most brightening cleanser, it doesn't have any glycolic acid in it. Okay. Let me see. So, I would look at that, and then we can actually merge everything together for you so that you don't have to pay shipping. And it's really concentrated. You're going to notice, like, so it's fragrance free, paraben free, all of that. You're going to notice that you only need a little bit, and then it foams, and it's natural foaming agents, coconut based surfactants. So very similar to your skin, as far as like the lipids. Let me see. No Asian in your ancestry. So I probably would, because you already have 2 autoimmune diseases and you don't know what to really look for if you're in an Asian store. Um, I probably, generally speaking, I probably would, if I were you, stay away from soy, as far as eating it, just to be safe. Because I don't know, like all your medical history and all of that. So, um, you get it at the Asian store. Okay, so Allie, make sure look at your natto, and because some of them have high they have corn syrup. I actually saw one that had corn syrup in it because they wanted to kind of slightly sweeten the taste of the natto. So if you open it and smell it and it doesn't, and you're not like, woo, if it doesn't have that smell, the bacteria hasn't fermented it long enough, right? And that's the same goes for sauerkraut and kimchi. If your sauerkraut and kimchi, when you buy it at the store and it doesn't stink, it just has kind of a slightly fermented, it's not fermented, the bacteria hasn't grown enough, it hasn't fermented enough. No breakouts, just need hydration. Okay, so what I would probably do then, um okay, sorry. No breakouts, just need hydration. Okay, so I would get the foaming cleansing oil to break down effectively the the sunscreen. If you're using a physical sunscreen and makeup and oil, get all that off. Your skin will feel really dry because it's getting everything off your skin, right? Including some of your lipids. But it does have jojoba oil, which is the closest related to your skin sebum. Then what you're going to do is you're going to rebalance your skin. You got to rebalance your skin. Anytime you use a makeup remover, it is going to change your pH because it has to dissolve all of that, get it off your skin. So then what you're going to do is I would follow it with the all natural balancing cleanser or the brightening cleanser. The brightening cleanser is not dehydrating, especially for age spots. So you may want to use the brightening cleanser at night and then use the all natural balancing cleanser in the morning, depending on when your skin is the most driest. It just depends. Okay. So here's what I want to tell you guys about products. Look at products this way. Think of products like clothes. When it's hot outside, right? Hot and humid, you wear light and airy clothes and not as many clothes, right? So when it's hot, you're sweating outside, you're not going to use heavy moisturizers, right? You're going to use lighter moisturizers. When it is cold, you're layering, right? Because it's cold outside. So you want to layer on products depending on how dry your skin is. The drier your skin is, the more lipid poor your skin is, the more you're going to need to layer, just for the simple fact that you have your heater on. It's making the air very arid and it's going to suck a lot of the moisture, excuse me, from not only your skin, but the products that you're using. So you've got to layer the products, and it depends on what you're using, where you live, even your diet, right? If you have a diet that's lower in fat, you're naturally going to have lower lipids. This is why almonds are really good for people who have lipid poor skin. Okay. and low in vitamin Bs. Let's see. Sarah, too, I also want to know, are you taking levothyroxine, or are you taking any type of thyroid medication, or how are you dealing with your autoimmune? Are you taking any type of liver support? Like, what are you doing? Let me see. I do not see the microcurrent device that you demonstrated a few live videos ago. Um, do you mean like, um, okay, I'm not really sure. A few live video, microcurrent. You mean the one that has the pinch and hold? I'm not really, because I've done several microcurrent videos on that. Um, you don't use makeup, just sunscreen. So if you still use sunscreen, sunscreen is the one product. Well, that's not true, actually. I would say there are some foundations like stage makeup that is really meant to be like stay on your skin, because light even breaks down, right? It oxidizes. That's why your makeup changes color from when you first buy it and then you put it on. And then at the end of the day, it'll actually look darker, right? Because of the oils and air. So that's oxidation. Um, so just sunscreen. Yeah. So then I would probably get the foaming cleansing oil because if you're really trying to get the serums to absorb into your skin, then you want to break that down. Okay. And it should email you a follow up email after you purchase this on how to use the foaming cleansing oil to make sure that you're using it correctly. Okay. So, a lot of times too, when I'm doing my consultation and people say, "Oh, I'm using this serum, it didn't work. Use this serum, it didn't work." And then I'll say, "Okay, what kind of sunscreen are you using and how do you get it off?" Okay. So part of it is just breaking down that barrier. Thyroid, this seems to always test normal. Okay, so I don't know if you've heard, but my tests came back normal too, my thyroid, but I'm having issues. Um, so they're now testing me, and I'm very open about it because I want to share this because I know that there's so many women that are struggling with this. Is now they're I don't know if you can. Well, I'm not sure if it'll. Let's see if will it show up. Let me see. I don't see if you can see how swollen this is. Oop. But so my doctor thought I had rheumatoid arthritis, which is very common for an autoimmune disease to go into other autoimmune diseases. And then I went to see a rheumatologist. I don't have rheumatoid arthritis. I have osteoarthritis, which is common, you know, when you get into your 50s and your 60s. So I have that. And what I notice is when I have coffee, it will swell up. And so I looked it up. And sure enough, with women who drink decaf coffee, I was drinking the Swiss water processed coffee, it it tends for your arthritis or your joints or overall just inflammation. So when I would drink green tea, it within 2 hours my swelling would go down. So I drink a lot more green tea than I ever did before. And my eyes would get really dry, super dry and itchy and irritated and swell up. And so now they're going to be testing me for antibodies for what's called Sjogren's syndrome. So another autoimmune thing. So I have noticed that when I eat certain products and then take my Pro Shield Max, the swelling goes down. So it's kind of funny because the doctors will say, "Are you taking any anti-inflammatories? Are you taking any steroid corticosteroids?" And I would tell them, "I'm taking this Pro Shield Max that originally were for my clients who had skin issues." And I said, "When I take that, my hair loss stops and my joints go down." So I started looking it up, and sure enough, raspberry ketones actually prevent um, the I forgot what the name of the chemical is that it disrupts the hair growth cycle, so then your hair falls out. So it actually disrupts that. So Um, I mean, it's working for me. Sing handheld tool with 4 prongs on it. Oh, right. Okay. Okay. So that one that is actually on my website, and it's not very well seen because you need to use it with a professional. You can use it by yourself, but a lot of people do it wrong. And I've seen people do it wrong even when I'm teaching them how to do it. But if you are interested in that, it's heavy duty, man. Is it this one? I have it near me because I teach it all day long. Is it this one? Because it has the 4 prongs. So if it's that one, I will put a link to it. However, I highly recommend that you purchase an instructional video. So it tells you what products to avoid several days before you use it, several days after it, which ones you can use with it, and how to use it correctly. So are you just wanting to ask questions about it, or I'm not really sure. Um, did you want to know how to purchase it, or what was what was the question? Okay, so man, we're just going over an hour. Nobody has any questions. This is why I feel like I'm teaching class here. Let's see. And Janice, I don't know if you're still on here, but man, it has been so long. It's good to hear from you. Gosh, like a long time since I retired. Okay, so here, I will put it on here. Let's see. Just listening and learning. Honeycutt, are you a like a skin professional? I have a lot of followers who, which I think is kind of funny, that watch my videos. Okay, she has a question, or I'm assuming it's a she. I don't know. Oh, okay. What a raspberry like from? No, has to be a ketone. Raspberry ketone, low in histamines, but you have to combine it. That's the key. Um, But raspberries in and of itself, they do have, they do contain anthocyanins, which is a pigment suppressor. So not good for brightening of the skin. Um, but raspberry ketones, which you take along, I mean, so pretty much, I'm trying to think. Not all, excuse me, not all, but pretty much my clients that have relatively good health and have treatment resistant hyperpigmentation take that supplement. Um, okay, so Honeycutt, she has a question. Do you find oil cleansers to be effective at lifting off oils of the skin effectively? So that depends. When the oil um, turns milky, right? It emulsifies and it turns milky. That it, it doesn't leave a greasy feeling, but your skin is kind of soft. That is when I do have some clients where they start to over time get bumpy skin. Um, their texture changes, and that is because if you look at the ingredients, it's not completely oil. They have other ingredients that's in there. So it's not quite as effective, I have found. So that's why. Let me here. Let's see. Do you still believe microcurrent retinol are no good together or used around the same? Yeah, you can't use. There, it's a contraindication. It's a contraindication of classroom instruction. Foam cleansers can strip the skin. First cleanse when removing makeup and skincare. So if it has sulfates, like that's what's causing the foaming in the cleanser, that actually will strip the skin, right, and um, change the pH and change the microbiome. But when you use a natural derived oil, yes, it's going to take it off because oil breaks down oil. Um, and this is why people don't like that. So people will use other cleansing oils that have other synthetic forms of ingredients to kind of change the texture so that, again, the customer will like it. If the customer likes it, the customer will buy it, right? So, um, and then you also have to look at this. Look at the ingredients. Are you paying more for fillers? Are and then look at sometimes I think Amazon does it and Costco does it too, where you look at the price and it'll say however much per ounce. So sometimes I try to educate people when they just look at the price and say, look at this, I get this big bottle for 17 bucks or 15 bucks. It's only whatever much an ounce. And then it's mostly like water. You look at the ingredients and you're like, well, you're paying a whole lot for a lot of chemicals, in solvents and water, what are you paying for? So, that's another thing. So, let me give you an example. Let me just look up on Amazon really quick since nobody had a example. So, let me just go on Amazon and look at like a cleansing oil. Okay, so I'm going to do Okay, so let's do this Japanese one. DHC Deep Cleansing Oil. So this one has been around since I was a kid in Japan, and now it's here in the States. It's been in the States for a long time now. So DHC Deep Cleansing Oil, because that was like one of the more popular ones, right? So it used to be the majority of it was basically olive oil. I think it had olive oil and like a fragrance or something like that a long time ago. Well, now the cost of oils, real oils, is so expensive. So now I'm going to look at their ingredients if they have it. And let's see what the ingredients are today. Okay, so olive fruit oil is the first one, caprylic triglyceride, sorbate 30, tetraoleate, which is a olive 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 oil derivative, pentylene glycol, okay, so it's a solvent, tocopherol, sterile glycerenate, rosmarinase, okay, rosemary leaf oil, and then phenoxyethanol, right? So they've diluted the olive oil quite a bit. So that's why I'm saying you have to look. Now, that one actually is fairly um, okay compared to some other ones. Like if you take one that's like let's look at this one here. Let's look at one that's like inexpensive. Okay, so let's look at this one. La Roche-Posay. Oh, that's weird. Hmm, they don't list their ingredients here. I can't find it not at least on Amazon. That's weird. So I can't find the ingredients on this one. So we can't really do this one. And a lot of times too, you have to be careful if it says fragrance free. Sometimes they'll have masking agents, but people won't know that it's a masking agent. So you have to be careful with that. Um, okay, what is the deal with not putting ingredients in here? Huh. I looked up another one. If anyone is familiar with Bioderma, no ingredients. Okay, so that's another thing too, right? You want to look at the ingredients. So that's kind of let me see. I don't mind buying that. Okay, hold on. But I'm not at all necessary but interested. Okay, so here's the thing, Sarah. If you want to get the microcurrent, I'm gonna have you do an instruction thing because what has happened is I had somebody buy the microcurrent from my website, which I didn't know the person. Then they contacted the company and said that they had some kind of burn and they bought it from my website. So then the company contacted me and said, it's better for you to teach these people how to use it because it is a professional level machine. So, and I never heard from the person. So I don't know what happened, but so I highly recommend that if you're going to get something as solid like this, I mean, once you get it, you realize, oh, this is not junk because it's heavy. Um, and there's all these different levels that you can use it with. I highly recommend that you do a consultation with me because you can end up, getting a rash or I guess this person got some kind of burn. I'm not really sure, but because I heard this all third person. So let's see. Back to red flushing. Seems like a daily until I put sunscreen. Doctor ruling out rosacea. Need advice. Flushing. Um, Sometimes you can have flushing of the skin, sudden flushing if you are vitamin deficient. That could be zinc. It could be vitamin B's. But this is just totally based on just what you're telling me. But typically, when you have that, you are deficient. And because you're telling me you have an autoimmune issue, um, that the autoimmune happens because we are the deficiency in certain minerals, and we can take all of these supplements. And the thing with that is that it's our gut lining, okay, our lower intestine lining. And so something happens in our body where our um, immune cells attacks the body. So in this case, it'll be in the gut, so the stomach lining. And I'm going to talk all about that on how you restore that. And what I have seen so far of treating myself along with the doctor is my levels of the different vitamins are slowly increasing. And I said slowly. Um, let's see. It's kind of a flushing type of rosacea. I think you may be vitamin B deficient. That's really common with people who have autoimmune disease. Um, did you say who was there? Oh yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me put it in there. Okay, so now I'm getting several questions. So hold on. Let me get that. Okay, so here's what we can do, Sarah. I'm going to give you a link for uh Sarah, is this for anti-aging or is this for actual like a melasma treatment? You got to let me know that. Oops. So, can you tell me if you if it's for anti-aging or if it's for like some type of hyperpigmentation? Okay, so let's go on to the next one. I use Obagi, Epionce, and Revision for my back bar. I work under an NP And that's what she carries. I've worked with many brands throughout my career. It's overwhelming at times. Okay, so here's the thing that you need to know. When chemists are formulating products for a specific skincare line, they formulate the products where they are complementary. So they are assuming that when you use this cleanser, their cleanser and their exfoliant and all this other stuff, it's prepping their skin for the next step in their product line, right? But the reality is women, they use a buffet of skincare products. They use a cheap cleanser from the drugstore, which doesn't prep their skin, but they use a cheap cleanser. Then they get um, you know, an expensive moisturizer, an expensive serum, and they mix and match. And what can happen, not that it does, but if they're using product lines, they're mixing and matching and they're not complementary, they may neutralize the results of it. They may get a reaction of their skin. And because everyone's skin's different because of the microbiome on their skin, some, like a friend will say, I just love this product. This product works so well for my skin. So they buy it and then they use it and then they ended up breaking out or does nothing for their skin. That is because of the products that they are using, along with the product that they bought that their friend recommended, and how their skin's microbiome is, if that makes any sense. So, Obashi tends to be really strong, very, very high in bioactivity. Um, I am not familiar with Epionce. I've never used that before, um, or Revision. So I would ask this NP or even the company sales rep for training on that. I don't know if they're complimentary or not. So um, that's the questions I always ask my vendors when I had my brick and mortar place. Are they pH complementary? So if they're very similar, then they can work. Um, I don't think the public should be allowed to purchase professional devices. I paid thousands of dollars in education. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. And um, this whole thing with Amazon selling professional level, um, like acid peels, is terrible. This is a disservice. They don't understand what they're doing. I've had several clients who, once I moved, they tried to find some other professional and they said that they didn't know what they were doing. So they went on Amazon and bought a glycolic acid peel. They burned their skin. Now they coming to see me because they found out that I'm doing hyperpigment treatments online. Um, so yes, and this is why I can't control who sells what, but this particular company said I have to be training because there is such a huge margin of error. So I agree with that. You are right about that. Um, Very easy for someone with no education to hurt themselves. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I totally agree with that. And with the rise of these influencers, I don't have anything against them, but I do think that it is a disservice to the public to make them think that skincare is really easy. All you have to do is use this one product. And then the following week, they say you have to use this one product. And their job is to promote brands. And I get it, that is their job. But when they are now starting to say all these things about, tretinoin and topical medications, and I just did this and you can do it too, I think that is very misleading, which is why when I'm always talking about products or things like that, I always say this is recommended more for, and then the certain skin conditions with the caveat of ABC, right? And that's always and I don't promote a lot of products, not because I just, um, it is really difficult to be very forthright without saying anything negative about the product. And when I do promote a product, you guys know that it's because it's clean, and it works for certain skin types. I'm very, when it's like a brightening product and it's clean and I do promote it, I do say, but if you have treatment resistant hyperpigmentation, this isn't going to work. You're going to need more professional help. That is the truth. Um, oh, that okay. Okay, so Sarah, so here's the thing with your autoimmune. Yes. So what it does is it disrupts the why don't you Google raspberry ketones and hair loss and see what you get. Okay? Because it actually prevents um it basically your hair is falling out, not your, but people who have hair loss, it's disrupting the full growth cycle. It's cutting it short so that in the shedding phase it becomes much it's you're shedding a lot more than you're growing hair, right? That's why it's hair loss. But raspberry ketones is a natural way of disrupting that. And I have found that it does work. And if I don't take it, like one time I went on a short vacation and I forgot it. I didn't take it. And so then I did notice that my hair was shedding a lot faster. So I take it because it helps with my skin, my hair, and my nails. And now I even said to my doctor, I know this is not what it was formulated for, but my joints, because the swelling of my fingers goes down with that. She tried to get me to use a anti-inflammatory, and I said, I don't want to use that because over time, with some of my clients who have autoimmune, they start to get melasma. So I treated myself with that because that's my area of specialty. So I'm going to use the Pro Shield Max for that. Um, okay, let's see. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so hold on. So Sarah, I don't know if I caught it, but um here is okay, so let me just put this in. If it's for anti-aging, oops. Oh, whoops. This is for the consultation. So here is for the consultation. Okay. And once you pay for that, then I will go ahead and put a link for the machine. And I don't want to do a bait and switch, but because I don't want to get in trouble again with the company and then have them say, okay, we're revoking your seller's agreement and not having me sell those anymore. So I now it's like now with my pre-existing clientele, I can sell it to them. But because I don't know who you are and I I would hate for you just to buy it and then they're going to say who is the person that you're working with to train you, right? So I just don't want to get in trouble again. So um so I will do that for you, Sarah. And this is for the benefit of you, me, and the company. Okay? Especially because you have flushing, we got to take care of that first because what microcurrent does is it increases the ATP in your mitochondria of your cells. That's the adenosine triphosphate. So when that flushing, that is inflammation, right? So we have to deal with that first because if you use that microcurrent with that, it can get worse, right? So It's about safety. That's right. So, um, yes, I this is what I have learned. A lot of licensed estheticians are insecure that if they give their clients, I'm not saying you, but some are insecure of giving their clients information and finding out things, and then they're not going to come to them. But what I have found is when you educate your clients, whether they continue to come to you or not, so I don't do my practice anymore, right? Because senior citizenship, right? So I'm done. But I decided to do this part time because my clients still want to have me treat them even virtually. So if you they've been with me, some of them have been with me for over 18 years. Yeah, but you guys have to remember this is my fourth career. So I started doing this at middle age. So now it's over 18 years. And so if you educate your clients will trust you. I've lost people telling them the truth. I've had people walk in and say, I want to do an acid peel, and it was in the middle of summer. I said, I don't do acid peels in the middle of summer. So they went somewhere else. So, and some of them did end up coming back because it ended up not working out well for them because they were not told to uh, not be out of the sun. And so some of them did come back, and others, I don't, they probably went somewhere else. So um, you have to be willing to risk that, right? So, and I've told clients, you don't, I'll have a new product in and they're totally excited and they want to buy it. And I've told them, you don't need it. You don't, that's not for your skin. And even then, some people still buy it because it's their money, but I've told them, you don't need it. So, um, vitamin C. Yes. So even though you're doing a separate order, Allie, we will go ahead and put in the notes to combine with the order number. Um, and we'll see that. We'll see that on there. So we'll just go ahead and combine it. So it shouldn't be a problem. You'll see them coming two together. And then when you get an order confirmation, what we usually do is the tracking number. If you look at it, it'll be the same as whatever that order is. So this is another thing why I think our online store um, does well. We have never used advertising. I've never paid for advertising. And the reason why is because we have relationships with most, not all, but most of our customers. So when they say, I ordered something, oh, but I forgot to order this with it. And so, can you just merge the orders together? We will do that. They'll say, I'm going on a trip. Can you hold my order? Or we give really personal service with our orders. And so that's kind of unique where if you do it with um, Amazon or a bigger company, obviously you get a lot of the quick convenient services. But if you've ever ordered from like a Shopify store and you don't know who they are, sometimes it's really difficult to reach them or get in contact with them. And we we're really, really good about that. Unless the email goes to spam or something, we usually tell people email us again because we do get quite a bit of emails. So, okay. Yeah, I don't know about Nutrafol. You're gonna have to let me know on Nutrafol to see if that works. So, also too, if a hair loss product is like their main ingredient is biotin and that's it, save your money. They need to have other things in there to help with where the hair is coming from, right? Which is the hair, the follicle, the root. Um, Site stain, tiny patches that are not Symmetrical. And she said it's part of aging and not melasma. Okay, I'm kind of, what do you mean slight stain? Slight stain, tiny patches that are not symmetrical. Okay, I don't know what that means. It's part of aging and not melasma. I don't really know what that means. Can you kind of excuse me, just kind of clarify that? So it's part of aging. I'm not really sure. So when I went to see the rheumatologist the other day on Thursday, she kept saying, "Well, when you are entering perimenopausal stage," and then she would say whatever, "when you're entering perimenopausal stage." And I thought, she didn't even look at my paperwork. She did not read my paperwork. And I said, "Well, I am post-menopausal. I've been post-menopausal for, wait, 10, 15 years, right? 10 or 15 years." And she looked at me and she was like, and then she had to go back to her paperwork. So this just shows you our medical system is overloaded. They are in a hurry and they don't look at the paperwork, even though they tell you to fill out the paperwork before you get to the appointment. So anyway, uh, okay, so knowing that I do have some estheticians in the audience, what I would do is you guys need to spend the most time in your consultation before you see the person, because I don't know what the deal is with our society. It's been like this for a while. Is they think that if they come and see you for one treatment, that whatever they're coming in for their treatment, whether it's acne, hyperpigmentation, whatever, that all of a sudden they're going to come looking 15 years younger, their skin will be totally clear. I'm not really sure what the deal is. But when you do your consultation, you need to set the expectation. You need to tell them that, do you expect to lose 20 pounds when you visit a trainer for one time? No. So you need to set them up and you need to know if they're using medication. You need to know what products that they're using. And you need to, based on the products that they're using and all the information that they've given you, you need to adjust their protocol. Make sure you go through the protocol and then adjust your treatment and then explain post care. Post care is so important because they have to continue that. And if they've done an inflammatory facial service, they have to reduce that inflammation really fast. So if they don't give you post care, that means they really don't understand the skin. Okay, so they have to get good post care and post treatment, right, and home care. So okay, okay, tiny patches. Yeah, that one I'm not really sure with that one. Okay, so we are going on an hour and a half, and since it doesn't seem to be that there are any more questions. They seem to come in like there's no questions, and then all of a sudden it goes boom, 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 boom. So um, since there are no questions about that, and nobody has a specific question on how to use their particular vitamin C serum or other vitamin C creams, um, I will tell you this. There's very few that I've seen vitamin C creams that work well. Um, if the cream has a fragrance with vitamin C or an antioxidant, I would not use it unless the fragrance is an essential oil. But then, if it's an essential oil, you have to be careful of phytophoto pigmentation. Um, You are welcome, Allie. So the next one I'm going to be talking about, I think on the next live or a video, is I'm going to be talking about how important your gut health is for your skin's microbiome. We talk about sun, we talk about, what we put on our skin, but that's the epidermis. We have to talk about the microbiome because the microbiome is what basically utilizes the products on our skin and how it metabolizes all of that, right? So they work hand in hand. So if you guys don't have any more questions, and this is another thing. A lot of you guys, not you guys in particular, but please listen to this. When you use a product, you're like, I don't like this product because it made my skin dry. I don't like this product because fill in the blanks. They are formulated to be used and prepped for the next product. So if you're using a product that doesn't work well with this particular product, it could be the pHs are not compatible, is one. People who have perpetually really, really dry skin. And it won't help if you live in a really arid climate as well. But um, when your skin is really super, super dry, we've got to fix that first because when you don't have a good amount of moisture on your skin, moisture or oils on your skin, then your skin cannot, I don't know if the right word is metabolize, but it doesn't the products don't work well. It seems like nothing seems to work, right? So this is why I do this full consultation before we even get into skincare, which throws people off because they're like, wait, I thought we were going to talk about skincare. It's like we are, but I just need to know like all of this background first, then we get into skincare. So if you guys want to know about that, I'm just going to put um, this one is the anti-aging one. There's the other one is melasma, but this one is for anti-aging. I'll just put that in there. And I think you will see by just even my before and after pictures, the people that said I could use their photos, um, you're going to see that it's very different from probably what you expected. But this is why their skin, a lot of their skin looks really good because they follow directions really, really well. So, okay, almost looks like irregular tea stains on the skin, very pale. Oh, um, on your skin, very pale. I would have to see a picture of that, but that actually sounds like, and I don't even want to say because I, I have not seen your pictures, but if they look, that sounds like, that does sound like melasma, if they're patches. But if they're spots, I wonder if it's like a pancreas related issue. I'd have to look at this. I'd have to look at the skin and see if that is it. But if it's like very faint, but you notice that it's getting darker and darker and darker, then that means there's low level chronic inflammation that's happening. So it's like a steady stream of pigments forming, right? So, because nobody ever forms age spots like you wake up one day and all of a sudden you got an age spot, right? It's over time. So, so yeah. So I would recommend Sarah if you are really serious about, because after the consultation I may be like, oh no, you're contraindicated for the microcurrent. So I know it seems like it's really like you're really eager to purchase this, and so here it is again. Here is an opportunity where you could buy something and I'm like, wait, let's hold off because I don't want you to buy it. It gets worse. I need to understand your skin first. So I would have you get a consultation. Let me get the information from you, and then see if microcurrent is a good way for your skin, because that flushing is what's concerning to me, and that flushing with the inflammation that could be actually one of the triggers of where those patches are forming, right? It's that constant chronic low level inflammation is what gets us into trouble. So, um, yeah, so let's do that, Sarah, because I know you on Saturday morning. Not every time because I do have a life. Um, and so, yes, I'm gonna try to keep it consistent. I did ask in if you're subscribed to me, I did ask in the post what works best for you. So if you guys think a midweek, more mid morning or something like that works better, then please put it in there. But this is why. So with you, Sarah, I know that there's information that I would ask you that's is more confidential. But that flushing is that's not a good sign. So, and from what you're telling me, I don't know. I don't think the doctor is asking the right questions. Not that your doctor is a bad doctor. That's not what I'm saying. But it sounds like their specialty is not in skin. So this flushing is, mm, yeah. So I highly encourage you to do that. That way I can be more specific with you. But I do encourage the for you, just for your skin, to start off with maybe the all natural balancing cleanser. Just like get the sample. It's a free shipping. Just get the sample and just try it. Okay. Okay. So if there's no other questions, I will talk to you folks soon and I will let you know. A lot of times I can't even let you know if I'm doing a live until like the night before because sometimes I'll do these consultations and I'm so exhausted that I can't do them anymore. So, um, today was a good day. I'm actually doing better. So, as you know, Sarah, with autoimmune, sometimes you have good days and sometimes you have bad days, even if you're eating totally clean, right? Okay. So, anyways, it was so nice to see you, Allie and Janice. I'm so glad you guys were able to make it. So, Janice is one of my clients who has been with me a long, long time. And then I retired and moved away. So, Janice, it was so nice to see you and I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.